welcome to the session on quartiles. We're going to be discussing what are quartiles and how we find quartiles on a cumulative frequency graph. Value is my median. This median is also referred to as one of your quartiles. Let's talk about quartiles. When you hear the word quartile, anybody, what comes to mind?
A quarter.
A quarter. Thank you. Quartiles. Yes, quarter. So how many quarters are there in a whole? Anybody? Let's go back to primary school.
Four.
Four. Very good. 4 quarters. So the reason why I'm saying that is because when we talk about quartiles and a cumulative frequency curve, we're basically dividing our cumulative frequency curve into 4 equal parts. This is where the quartiles come in. And the values at which we divide our graph into those 4 segments, each value is called a quartile. So for this one, luckily for us, our data for frequency goes from 0 to 100. So it's pretty easy to identify the quartile. Let's get started with finding our first quartile. My first quartile is going to be the first quarter of my frequency. What is the first quarter of my frequency going to be at? It's going to be at 25. So my first quartile is at 25. Now, I use a particular notation for quartiles. Quartiles are denoted with a capital Q and a subscript number. When I say a subscript number, I mean the number is written just below the line. So my first quartile is Q1. All right, so if I want to denote my first quartile for this example is 25. Basically, that will correspond to an X value as well. We're not going to go into that part. I just want to talk about dividing the graph into the quartiles first, all right? So my first quartile is at 25. Where would my second quartile be at, people?
50.
50, exactly. Because my second quartile is 2 quarters, which is equal to half of 100, which is 50. So quartile number 2 is at 50. And quartile number 2 is also our median. So another way you can denote your median when we deal with cumulative frequency is Q2, your second quartile. Q3, anybody? What value is that third quartile to be at?
75.
75, very good. And well, Q4, which is our last one, is 100, right? But the important takeaway here, quartiles divide your graph into 4 equal segments. Each one has a corresponding X value. And to get your quartiles, you start off firstly by finding 25%, 50%, 75%, or 100% of your total frequency. So Q1 is at 25%, Q2 is at 50, Q3 is at 7. Everybody understands that piece about the quartiles?
Yes, miss.
Thank you. All right. Now, like I was going to say, each one has a corresponding X value. Those corresponding X values, those are the values. When they ask you what is Q1 and they ask you what is Q3, those are the values that you will state for your quartiles. Getting these Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 pieces, those are to help you find where those X values lie. So just like we found our median, which is Q2, you will do the same for Q1, Q3, and Q4.